What's up, Internet? Mad King Kev here again, and today we are going to go over Tom Marvolo Riddle, also known as Lord Voldemort. But we are going to go over his early life before Harry Potter. He was born in an orphanage in 1926. His mother, Arope Gaunt, staggered to the door of the orphanage, had Tom shortly after that, and then died shortly after that. But before her death, she asked the orphanage staff to name him Tom Riddle after his father and make his middle name Marvolo after her father. Now a little background info on his mother. She grew up being both mentally and physically abused from her father Marvolo and her brother Morphin. She grew an obsessive love for Tom Riddle, a handsome and wealthy muggle who lived in the same town as they did. After both her father and brother were in prison in Azkaban, she bewitched and married Tom. A year into the marriage, he recovered and abandoned her and their unborn child. Arope ended up alone in London and later died at the orphanage. The Muggle orphanage did not know about his mother or his magical background. Despite his ignorance of his mother's magical background, Tom did have some grasp on his abilities. On one occasion, he took two orphans into a cave where he performed an act so horrifying that the two orphans were traumatized into silence. He eventually also found out he had the ability to speak to snakes. When Tom was 11, Albus Dumbledore came to the orphanage to inform him he was a wizard and to tell him of Hogwarts. He was not surprised at all being informed by Dumbledore that he was a wizard. He was, in fact, eager to believe that he had special gifts that no one else had. Tom claimed that his mother could not have been a witch because if she was magical, then she would have been able to avoid dying. Thought his father was the wizard. Dumbledore also warned Tom that at Hogwarts he would be introduced into the laws that control the usage of magic in the wizarding world, and that lawbreakers were punished with severity not by Hogwarts, but by the Ministry of Magic. Riddle's demeanor changed after Dumbledore reprimanded him. He became more guarded and shielded his reaction. Dumbledore offered to take him to get his books, equipment, and everything else he needed for school, but Tom insisted he wanted to do it on his own. So Dumbledore provided Riddle with enough info to find Diagon Alley and Platform 9 3/4. Upon arriving at Hogwarts, Tom was sorted into Slytherin House. During summer breaks, he was forced to return to the Muggle orphanage, which he despised and dreaded more than any other place on Earth. Over time, Riddle gathered to himself a gang of Slytherin thugs, most of which would become the first Death Eater. Riddle claimed that they were his friends and made it appear so in public, but in truth they amounted to little more than servants and he cared almost nothing for them. Tom became obsessed with his heritage and began researching it with an insatiable hunger. While researching his heritage, Riddle focused solely on his father, thinking him to be the magical parent, but found nothing to suggest his father had even attended Hogwarts. He was eventually forced to accept that his father was the Muggle parent and that his mother was the magical one. It was around this time that Tom Marvolo Riddle gave himself the alias Lord Voldemort to spare himself of the reminder of his Muggle father. Using his middle name Marvolo, which was taken from his maternal grandfather, Riddle discovered his mother's heritage and the Gaunt's bloodline connection to Salazar Slytherin. Once Tom learned of his ancestry, it was not long before he discovered the existence of the Chamber of Secrets under Hogwarts. During his 5th year, he tamed the basilisk which dealt within. The basilisk killed one and injured many at Hogwarts in 1943 and would eventually cause the closure of Hogwarts and would result in Tom's return to the orphanage. Realizing that the chamber would need to be closed and the culprit caught in order to keep the school open, he framed fellow student Rubeus Hagrid and his pet Aragog for the chamber. Hagrid was expelled and Tom received an engraved trophy for special services to the school. Dumbledore, however, did not believe Hagrid was responsible for the killing, so he kept a close watch on Tom after that. Due to this, Tom realized that he would not be able to risk opening the chamber while still a student. Around the summer of 1943, Tom went to Little Hangleton to learn of his mother's family. While there, he met his uncle Morphin Gaunt. Morphin mentioned at one point during this meeting that he thought that Tom looked like that Muggle, Tom Riddle, who lived in the nearby village. Tom immediately demanded the identity of the Muggle in question, which infuriated Tom to the point of seeking revenge. Tom stunned Morphin and took his wand, went to the Riddle house, and using his uncle's wand, murdered his father, grandfather, and grandmother with the killing curse. He covered up the crimes by altering Morphin's memory, causing him to believe that he was the killer, and was sent to Azkaban for it. Tom took the family signet ring from Morphin and wore it like a trophy at Hogwarts. During his 6th year, Tom questioned Professor Slughorn, who was taken in by Tom's charisma, about the possibility of creating more than one Horcrux. In his mid-teen years, Riddle already sought to make himself immortal. Tom succeeded in doing so at some point during this year, creating his first Horcrux in the form of a diary, hoping it would one day lead someone to finish Salazar Slytherin's noble work involving the Chamber of Secrets and the Basilisk. During Tom's 7th year at Hogwarts, he was head boy and received a medal for magical merit. He was regarded as one of the most brilliant students ever to attend Hogwarts, a fact admitted by Albus Dumbledore himself. Shortly before leaving Hogwarts, Tom charmed the ghost of Helena Ravenclaw, more commonly known as the Grey Lady and the ghost of the Ravenclaw house, into revealing the location of Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem. Tom sought to transform this diadem into another Horcrux. After graduating, Tom immediately approached Armando Dibbit, who was the headmaster of Hogwarts at that time period, and asked him for a chance to teach defense against the dark arts and to remain at Hogwarts. Dibbit rejected this offer, deeming the boy too young, but invited Tom to reapply in a few years. Tom then presumably traveled to the forest in Albania in which Helena Ravenclaw told him about and retrieved the diadem. He murdered an Albanian peasant and turned the diadem into a Horcrux. Upon his return to Britain, he was offered several positions in the Ministry of Magic, but ended up working at Borgin and Burke's. He was set to persuading witches and wizards to part with their valuable magical heirlooms, a job at which he was very good. While working at Borgin and Burke's, Tom befriended a wealthy, elderly witch named Hepzibah Smith. Between 1955 and 1961, Hepzibah showed Tom her two most valuable treasures, Salazar Slytherin's locket and Helga Hufflepuff's cup. Tom's eyes flashed red with greed and avarice upon seeing these objects, and he desired them, because he saw the locket to be rightfully his as Salazar Slytherin's heir, and the cup was a reminder of Hogwarts as well as a priceless artifact. Tom killed Hepzibah to steal these coveted items and vanished without a trace. He covered his tracks by implanting another false memory into an innocent bystander. Tom immediately resigned his post at Borgin and Burke's and fled with the cup and locket, subsequently turning them into two more Horcruxes, using the murders of Smith and an unidentified Muggle. Tom disappeared for 10 long years. He slipped deeper into the dark arts, traveled extensively, consorting with disreputable people, began to become more distorted in appearance, and lost his handsomeness due to splitting his soul so many times, and began to use the alias Lord Voldemort openly. 10 years after Smith's murder, Tom appealed once more to the headmaster of Hogwarts, who was Albus Dumbledore at the time, for the position of Professor of Defense Against the Dark Arts. After a short chat, he was denied the position again. Tom's visit to Hogwarts was not fruitless, however. He used the opportunity to hide Rowena Ravenclaw's diadem in the Room of Requirement, where he believed it would never be found. Lord Voldemort, as he was now exclusively called, spent the next few years before the war gathering followers in witches and wizards who called themselves collectively Death Eaters. Some were supportive of his cause to dominate Muggles and Muggleborns, while others were greedy for domination, wealth, and fame, and yet others joined the Dark Lord out of fear. Voldemort considered them more like servants than friends or family. They freely used the unforgivable curses and killed many. In 1970, Voldemort started the first Wizarding War. For many years, people were even afraid to speak his name, and he was referred to as you-know-who, or he who must not be named. 9 years into the war, Voldemort decided to test the defenses of his locket Horcrux in
the Crystal Cave, the same cave in which he took 2 orphans and tortured them when he was younger. 10 years into the war, when Voldemort was at the height of his dominion, a prophecy was given by Sybil Trelawney to Albus Dumbledore, who predicted the fall of the Dark Lord. The prophecy was overheard by Death Eater and informant Severus Snape. He relayed to the Dark Lord what he had heard, not realizing that he had missed an important part of the message. Feeling threatened, he sprang into action to prevent the fulfillment of the prophecy. There were, at the time, 2 babies to whom the prophecy could have referred: Harry Potter, the half-blood son of James and Lily Potter, and Neville Longbottom, the pure-blood son of Alice and Frank Longbottom. Voldemort chose to target Harry instead of Neville. Dumbledore suspected this was because Harry shared a similar family heritage with Voldemort, both of them being half-bloods. After a long search, Voldemort discovered the identity of Potter's secret keeper, Peter Pettigrew, and was told of their location. With the Potter's charm broken, Voldemort simply walked into their home one night and murdered James and Lily. However, when he used the killing curse on Harry, it rebounded and seamlessly obliterated his body. This happened because Lily sacrificed her life to protect her son, creating a powerful defense of ancient magic around Harry, which protected him for many years. Voldemort lost his physical form and magical powers, but he remained alive in ghostly form. The Horcruxes, which he had created, kept his spirit bound to the physical world. Thus, after 11 long years of the First Wizarding War, Voldemort was finally defeated, or so everybody thought. At this point is where Harry's story begins, and I'm sure you all know how it ends for both sides. Oh, hey, what's going on, internet? Hey, if you liked that video, you should check another one out. Click this one over here. I'll be in this area. Yeah, click that. Then you should probably click that button like down below, like somewhere over here. The subscribe button. Yeah, you should definitely do that. And I think somewhere under here, be like there's a like button, and oh yeah, there's links below too, like for like Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, things like that, other social media things. I should check out my Redbubble, like the random t-shirt designs I make, not just for my like channel designs or other things that make, like you know what's a good book? I'm blanking. They're pop culture things. Yeah, you should check the links up below. You should click any one of these things, like the video up here, or like the link over here somewhere, or how about like all those links below. Or definitely check out that like button and subscribe buttons. Like, check all those out. But I'll still be here waiting for you to click on them. But check them out, and I'm sure there'll be other videos. Hopefully, maybe. If you don't click on it, then it might not be more. But yeah, you click on it, there'll be more videos in the future. But please do that, and thank you in advance. Hopefully.